going on, folks? Izzy Epstein here today with the 2 Hour Lunch Crew, and we are preparing for Passover. So we're doing a cooking show today, and it's going to be kind of cool. We're doing a gigantic shank of a lamb, big old leg of lamb, and then we also have a rib roast, about 20 pounds of rib roast. So we're going to show you how we're preparing that. We're going to cook the rib roast on the grill, and we're going to cook the leg of lamb on the open flames with a rotisserie. And we'll show you as we do that and as we prep. But right now, we're just going to get the meat prepped. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I have taken some freshly ground pepper, and what we're going to do is we're going to mix up some spices. So I've got some freshly ground pepper here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a touch of basil to this mixture, maybe a half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to take some rosemary, and I'm going to crush that up by hand. Sorry about that. So we're just taking some rosemary and we're crushing that up in there. And then I have some Perfect Pinch all-season spice. Yeah, it smells good. We're going to throw a little bit of that in there. And then I'm taking just a pinch of paprika. Just a little bit of paprika. And we're going to start with this gigantic prime rib first. Let's see what we got going here. I'm going to season it, coat it in oil, and then put it back in the fridge for another 24 hours. Yes, it's a bloody mess. But just look at that. That is a gigantic piece of rib roast. Beautiful. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take some oil, some olive oil, some 100% pure virgin olive oil, and we're going to rub it on, just get things started here. Like a nice little coat of oil on everything. This will help the seasoning to stick to the meat better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just sprinkle this stuff around here. Just sprinkle this all over this thing. We're also going to rub some into the ends. Okay. Then we're going to flip her back. Oops, she's sticking. Alright, then we're going to flip it back over like such, and do the same thing to this side. Okay, one of the other things we're going to do is we're going to make some small incisions here, and we're going to stuff the incisions with the pieces of garlic that I created just for this very purpose. I'm going to stuff some garlic into these cracks and crevices. I'm making a small slice about every 2 inches into the top part where the meat, where the fat layer is, and about every 2 inches, just making a little gouge and stuffing a piece of garlic in there. All right, that one's ready for the fridge for another 24 hours. All right, folks, so now we have our leg o' lamb. There's the fat part and there's the meaty part. So we're going to now spice this thing up and give it a coating of oil, and this thing will be absolutely fantastic for Passover. Okay, so yeah, the first thing that we're doing is we're just putting some holes in the fat top to drop some big old pieces of garlic in there. Okay, there goes that. And now I'm going to sprinkle on some rosemary. Rosemary on the lamb is fantastico. And then some of this special spice, a little kosher salt. We'll continue to put on more spices and more oil as this thing continues to cook. This is just a prep. So we will continue as this thing is cooking to coat it with more oil and more spices and sear that flavor in. It's going to be absolutely delightful. So what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to just make a couple of small incisions and pop in the remaining pieces of my garlic that I have here. All right, that's it for that, folks. And join us again. We will put this all together into one video, but tomorrow we're going to spark up the cameras and go outside as we prep the grill and the fire pit, a rotisserie machinery, spike this thing on and get it ready to turn and burn. We'll be ready to rock. What's up, folks? Izzy Epstein back again the next day for part 2 of this little video. And we did a thorough cleansing of the grill, not because it was ceremonially unclean. We are not Orthodox Jews like that. We didn't take a blowtorch to our grill. But what we did do is clean it out because we use it a lot and there's a lot of burnt stuff in there. So give your grill a good cleaning. And then what we do is we've got all the burners, all 3 burners on, set to low, and that maintains hovering right around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And what we now have, I'll open it up to show you the goodness. Now we put this roast in here approximately 1 hour ago. It was about 12:15 p.m. It's going to take about 6 hours to cook the big prime rib of this size. So I'll just give you a peek. And that's what we got so far. It's been in there for 1 hour. And what I like to do is every probably 30 minutes, I'm just applying a fine coat of olive oil with some additional spices to it so it doesn't dry out or anything. So just about every 30 minutes, I'm just touching this up with a little bit of olive oil and spices. And what we'll do is we'll bring you guys on back in about every hour to take a look at what this thing is looking like as we progress every hour. So right now it's been about 1 hour, and of course we'll use our meat thermometer as we get closer in order to test the temperature of the meat. Now we don't want ours to be terribly rare. Meat of this type with a prime rib, you want the internal temperature to be about 155 degrees Fahrenheit. We might go to 160, hovering between 155 and 160, just to make sure that it's done enough for all of our guests and who don't like bloody meat. So if you'll, let's go around over here and I will show you what we're going to do for the lamb pit. Alright, folks. Now we're ready for the barbecue pit with the rotisserie. This is where we will cook our big old leg of lamb. And what I like to do is put some large logs around the outside to contain my lump of coals that I'm going to build on the inside. I've got my little mechanical rotisserie machine there and a thing that just holds the other side. And what I'll do is I'll just take a bundle of this butcher paper to start the fire, and then I like to take some of this redwood bark. Is good tinder. Get these things started. This is good stuff. So I'll just kind of get this thing ready to go. Now I'm not going to start cooking the lamb for a little while. It's much smaller than our gigantic piece of prime rib, and it will only take about 3 hours to All right, folks, so here we have our coals are ready, nice and hot, not too much flame. And we're going to put this piece of meat into our rotisserie spit. Woo, that's hot. And we're going to get it spinning. There we go. Get it spinning the right way. Yeah.